Most people have a to-do list of some sort. The problem with many of these lists is that they're just a collection of things that need to get done. There's no rhyme or reason to the list, and because of this, the work they do is just as unstructured. To work efficiently, you need to work on the most important, highest value tasks. People who are not able to manage their time let time rule over them, which always results in the stress and guilt of not being able to devote time to anything. How often do you find yourself running out of time? Weekly? Daily? Hourly? For many people, it seems that there's just never enough time in the day to get everything done. The following true story takes place between a professor and his business students in Northwestern University. One day, the professor entered the classroom, and after a brief glance at his students standing in front of him, he declared, "Today we will have a mixed test on time management." He walked up to the podium and pulled out a huge jar from underneath it. From behind, he picked up a dozen fist-sized stones and began to carefully place the stones into the jar. After making sure that the jar would not hold any more stones, he turned to his students and asked, "Is this jar full?" The students answered him in unison, "It is full." Professor replied, "Is that so?" And leaning under his podium, he pulled out a bucket of gravel. He slowly poured the gravel from the mouth of the jar and waved the jar to let the gravel settle among the stones. Then he turned to his students and once again asked, "Is this jar full?" One student then replied, "I guess it's not." "That's right," said the professor. And leaning under his podium, he took a bucket of sand and poured it slowly until all the grains of sand had penetrated between the stones and the gravel. He turned back to his students and said, "Is this jar full?" The whole class shouted "No" in unison. "Good," said the professor, and leaning under his podium one last time, took a jug of water and poured it in until the jar was full. Then he turned to his students and asked, "What was the purpose of this experiment?" One awake student immediately jumped. "No matter how full our time may seem, we certainly have some free time." "No," said the professor. "The main point of this experiment is that if you don't place the big stones from the beginning, all of the others won't fit." While the students looked at each other in astonishment, the professor continued, "What are the big stones in your life? Your friends, loved ones, education, health, creating work, being useful to others, teaching them something? Your big stones may be one of these, maybe a few, or maybe even all. Think carefully before going to sleep tonight and decide what your big stones are. Know that if you do not put your big stones in the jar first, you will never be able to put them in, and then you will not be beneficial to yourself, to the institution you work for, or to your country." The professor then exited, leaving the thoughtful students in the classroom. As it can be seen from this story, prioritizing our work plays a critical role in our life. Without it, no matter how hard you work, you cannot achieve the results you desire. This is because what you are working on is not of strategic importance. Realizing the importance of time and using it wisely is also a topic that is well emphasized in Islam. In Surah Al-Asr, Allah Almighty declares, "By the passage of time, surely humanity is in loss, except those who have faith, do good, urge each other to the truth, and urge each other to perseverance." Those ayahs explain the value of time in the life of a Muslim. The creator of the world, Allah Almighty, addresses time as a great measure of his success or failure. There is one undeniable fact. Those who can evaluate their time properly will find peace both in the world and in the hereafter. A hadith narrated by Ibn Abbas reads, "Our beloved Prophet once said, 'There are two blessings that most people are unaware of. These are health and leisure time.' By saying this, he draws attention to the truth that Allah Almighty did not give us these to waste. He has given us health and time for a purpose." What could be more saddening than a person consuming God's blessings of life recklessly and irresponsibly? May Allah Almighty give us the ability to analyze our precious time and worship Him in full sense. Ameen.